Minimalists.
Is this really the best we have to offer? Or is the system so broken that the best and brightest are excluded from political leadership because responsible, conscientious, ethical people are eliminated early on, or simply can't afford the outrageous budget required to compete as a candidate?
Here's my pithy answer for you all, and then I'll let you unpack it here. A corrupt system does not make room for the truth.
My pithy answer is she was right.
Tweet that.
This is not the best we have.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, the system blocks out, like, we have heard from people who have, like Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, right? They made a lot of noise on social media because they were going against party orthodoxy. And what happened? They're Russian agents, right? Instead of, even if I don't agree with everything Tulsi says, even if I don't agree with anything Andrew Yang says, they're both saying things that are kind of different. And that's cool. And what if we apply, what if Biden took Yang's universal income? What if another Democrat was like, yeah, Tulsi's kind of right. We were the anti-war party. Why are we suddenly, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are ways that we should be able to take from these voices. Or, I mean, again, back to Nader, like, they didn't let homeboy in the debate. They learned with Ross Perot, this is what happens when you get a third voice in the debate, and it kind of shakes things up, and we don't like it, and the establishment wants to keep things establishment. So she's kind of right.
Yeah. I don't know, when I see things like Unity 2020 getting, muted on Twitter, I mean, it's, are you guys familiar with the Unity 2020 thing?
No, tell me about this.
I'm not. It's which Weinstein, I always forget which one it was.
Eric.
Yeah,
Brett,
one of them
Not
started
Harvey.
it.
You got to get that right. You got to get that right.
Not Harvey. One of the Weinstein brothers started this movement where it's you take a candidate from the Republican side and a candidate from the Democratic side, and you create a unity ticket, and then they do a coin toss to decide which one is president and which one's vice, and then at the end of the 4 years, if they win, then they have to reverse roles. So I think this year it was Dan Crenshaw and Tulsi Gabbard were the two picks. So Tulsi from the Democratic side and Dan Crenshaw from the Republican, and then they would form this unity ticket. The idea is that then this would unify America, that these would be candidates that people could get behind, and that people would realize that we don't live in such a polarized two-party system. It's kind of a way to, one of the important aspects of it is getting on the ballot, because ballot access is a real problem for third parties.
Right.
Yes.
And so what the Unity 2020 movement was going to do was try to get, the Libertarian Party actually has more ballot access in more states than Green, but Green does have some 20-something states that they're on the ballot for. So Unity 2020's idea was then to go and petition basically the Libertarian or Green Party in each state to try to get on the ballot for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to be the candidates for their. I think Libertarian would be more likely to do it, but I don't. Green has got some issues going on internally right now. I'm not sure if they would, but it's a good idea. Not sure if it would actually work in practice. And you also, obviously you need a lot of money. And just to the question, money. It takes money, and I think this just goes to show that money cannot buy anything.
Right, right.
Like a really good candidate.
Man, how gross is it whenever you see how much, like, the mainstream Democrats or Republicans spent, and you just think about how many people we could have fed with that, you know?
Especially right now.
I know. And it's just, just to get just to get two candidates that no one's happy with.
Hey, maybe it actually takes a lot of money to get a bad candidate.
Pithy. That was perfect.
Yeah, you can tweet that podcast, Sean.
Yeah, that's good.
Go ahead, though.
Although it's fashionable to say people are stupid, I don't think people are stupid.
No.
I think people know when someone's lying to them or not. People know when somebody's speaking straight. And in order to suppress the truth, in order to prevent people from discovering the truth, it takes a heck of a lot of effort to drown out the voice of truth, right? I believe it was G.K. Chesterton who spoke of the truth being so dangerous that it has to be surrounded by a bodyguard of lies, right? And so one of the ways that you push the voices of truth who call out the corruption in the system, right? Who say the things that we're uncomfortable hearing and saying ourselves, you drown them out. You put a price tag on everything and you say, hey, you got to have this much money if you even want to participate in the debate, right? Think about how much money is spent just in keeping certain voices from even participating in
Yes.
debates,
Yes.
so that we can't see Biden or Trump being challenged by a
Right.
different way of thinking.
Yeah.
I think it takes a lot of money to keep the poor people in
That-
power. I mean,
Yeah.
keep the incompetent people
That's
in
a
power.
great point.
It's interesting how Bloomberg bought his way into the if you have if you have enough money to know the right
Yes.
people, you can buy your way into the debates. I mean, it's
to go nowhere.
Yeah.
No one wanted Bloomberg.
Yeah.
He
And then
spent
it
so
goes,
much money.
It goes even beyond that. Once you're in, for example, Congress, once you're in Congress and you've been elected, then it takes money to get on the committee seats. So to become Speaker of the House, that's not because the person, is the best leader from that party. That is not the reason why they're Speaker of the House. They're
wow.
Speaker of the House because they raised the most money.
Yep.
And that
Oh,
is
wow.
well known inside of Congress. On both sides, they do this. If you want to be on the top committee, then you have to raise a certain amount of money and give that money back to the party.
Yep. Oh,
And it's actually printed out. They're handed this saying, if this is the committee seating you, if you want this assignment, this is what it's going to cost you.
And then, by the way, they leave
Unbelievable.
office. They become lobbyists.
Right, and
There are all
make a
these
ton of
cushy
money,
jobs,
yeah.
make a ton of money. Then they go back, campaign with their friends who are still in office. And it's like, it's money, money, money. We don't learn our lesson. To quote Britney Spears, oops, I did it again.
I'm going to talk. I just want to read my
Touche.
pithy answer here. My pithy answer is this: focus less on government and more on contributing beyond yourself in a meaningful way. And this makes me think about what you were saying, Cam, about looking through it, trying to put yourself in someone else's shoes, because ultimately what that leads us to do is show compassion. And I think that is what America is lacking right now. And personally, I would much rather people go out of their way to show compassion than go vote. So that's the one exception where I'll be like, voting isn't as important as showing compassion.